So this is Josh Bates, who plays Alexander Hamilton in A Great Awakening.
It was really cool. I mean, Hamilton is such an influential person in our history and in the founding of this country. Doing the role, I was like, this guy's life might make an interesting musical someday. No, I think actually watching the movie, this is my second time seeing it, and I feel like watching it, I got to see the similarities between Hamilton and Whitefield, although they were kind of different spiritually.
Yeah.
They were both doers, and one of the things that me and Josh Ank talked about, the director, was Hamilton was in this room where everyone around him had a lot to say, but he was in the war. He fought alongside Washington for these freedoms. He saw his friends die. He was in those cold nights in the winter, trudging through the snow. And there's this frustration, almost like how Whitefield talks about, there's hearers and then there's doers, and I think Hamilton in that convention was going, listen, you guys can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? This nation needs to survive because so much blood has come before it. So they were different in many ways, of course, especially spiritually. But man, they had that vigor and that passion for doing and not just talking the talk. So
And we've got people on both sides now of faith, both sides of faith, wanting our nation to be better than it is.
Yeah.
So talk about that in terms of the parallels between then and now.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting time in our history as a country to go back to our founding fathers, and they were really incredible men, and I would obviously put Whitefield in that camp, but they talk about the spiritual founding father of our country.
Yeah.
And I think it's time that we reflect on those men and women, because they were remarkable people, and the fact that this small group of people, these farmers and printers and thinkers got together and established one of the greatest empires in human history with a biblical foundation is really significant. And their words, especially Washington and John Adams and Whitefield, those men, their submission to the Lord is the reason we're here today and the reason we have our liberties today. And so it's important, I think, especially the young generation, that we look back on these founding fathers. Like, we're in such a celebrity culture and in such a time when everything's about who's the most entertaining or maybe the best looking or the most interesting. Who has the most virtue and who has the most important and valuable things to say? That's what we need to be thinking about. And these men, Franklin, Whitefield, Washington, Jefferson, Hamilton, Adams, they had really important things to say that apply to us today. And so I think I would just say, as it relates to where we are politically or just as a nation religiously, I think that we can learn a lot from those guys.
Fantastic. Talk about what's going on in terms of prayer at Sight and Sound.
Yeah, I was just saying that this is my first run-in with Sight and Sound, working as an actor, and it's just so awesome that they would make it a point to pray at the beginning of every day, and sometimes in between takes or in the beginning of a scene, and then just set the tone of like, this is a collaborative effort to bring Christ to the people of this country and the world, which is just so awesome. It's so rare in this industry, and I was just joking about how it was so shocking, because I used to do things like that, like in my dressing room or in a trailer, like by myself, like, Lord, help me be okay in this scene. And to have the corporate aspect of we're all doing this together, we're on the same team. It's almost actually similar to the plot of the movie in a way where Franklin offers this idea to pray corporately. There's power in that, and so to do that on set, it was just very special.
How would you like our intercessors praying for this film?
That's a great question. I think just that it'll reach the people it needs to reach, The great thing about Sight and Sound is that they care about the future of this country. They care about the future of the church. And everything they do is the work and the hands and feet of Jesus, really. They are doing what they can to bring Christ to the masses here in America and the world. And so I guess let's pray that this film reaches like the ears and the eyes that it needs, the hearts that it needs to, and that the Lord would just remind us where we come from. You know, we're a nation of brave, spiritually sound, courageous and virtuous people. That's who we stand on, and I think that people would be reminded of that would be just awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Thanks so much, Josh.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.